I think that allowing the students to experience the work in a way that they don't necessarily experience their other music that they're working on is an important angle. They often sing a particular kind of repertoire for a particular kind of voice part. With the multi-parts of the different movements, of necessity, they have to be swapped around, and they have to learn to be versatile. As long as and my point of view is that as long as they're comfortable with what they're singing, we can use the different colors of their voices in ways that they're perhaps not accustomed, and it makes it a new experience for them, and it also creates the kind of color that we need for the piece anyway. So versatility, I mean, just simply working on a piece of this magnitude and of this style is a very new experience for many of the singers. They've not done this sort of work before. As a choir, for example, with the chamber choir that I work with, they're learning to be very versatile in the way they use their voices in terms of the style in which they sing. So they're required to not only sing a part they might not normally sing, but they're required to actually produce it in a slightly different way. It makes it rather exciting.
There's a lot of text in the various movements of the Vespers. How do you find that issue?
That too has been a challenge. It's not, the Latin text isn't necessarily texts that they would have commonly sung, so there are diction and articulation issues, as well as trying to imbue some of the meaning of the psalm settings, for example, to them. But it hasn't posed great difficulties, but again, it is complex music too. It was complex at first for them to read it and to read the rhythms and the notation that again was not something that they were used to doing. So it's been a challenge, but it's seeming to be much more comfortable now. They seem much more brave, actually, when you throw the music, when we threw the music at them at first, they did seem really ready to take the challenge and plunge in.
A work like this has often been performed in recent times with very small ensembles. The ensembles we're using on this occasion are not all that large. How would you rate the success of using such small ensembles, given that they are still student voices?
Oh, it's been terrific. It's exceeded certainly my expectations. I don't know about you, but it's they are well-trained singers, and they are able to produce their voices confidently. And I think it's building the fact that they have to be small, self-sufficient little teams has actually brought them the singers out of their shell a bit, particularly as it's a different type of genre. And I think they make a mighty noise, actually, and they're also learning the subtleties that are required.
And roughly how many singers per part are normally being used in each of the movements?
It depends. 3 would be an average, I think. It's sometimes a few more, sometimes 2 on a part. There's the odd occasion when somebody ends up being the lone person on a part.